One Wildcrafter, it's me, Jeremy, and I'm going to share with you today one of my favorite recipes, which is pumpkin skillet cornbread. And I'm using a recipe that's modified to be based on foods that you would have in your prepper pantry or your long-term food storage. My pantry is in transition from a little bit of a panic pantry to a little more of a prudent pantry. So there's some things here that I need to get rid of because I bought them in a rush, but there are things that I'm now a little better at picking and choosing them on sale and stocking up. And I'm a lot more organized since I went to Princess Auto and got a heavy duty shelf because I had a wooden pantry before that was basically sagging under the weight of my cans of food and things, and there was going to be a disaster. But here we go. Pumpkin skillet cornbread. For this recipe, you'll need some butter or olive oil, lard, or any kind of fat. You'll need 1.5 cups of cornmeal, half a cup of flour, which is not pictured here, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, not pictured, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a 14-ounce can of pumpkin puree, and 1 can of evaporated milk. All items that you should have in your pantry. You'll also need an egg, which store long term, but you should have a chicken. And I like to use maple syrup instead of sugar or molasses. You'll also need 2 mixing bowls, assorted measuring cups and measuring spoons, and a stiff spatula or a wooden spoon for mixing. The quantities for all the ingredients are found in the description below this video. To start, get just over 1/4 cup of your lard or butter warming or melting in a cast iron or other oven-proof pan. Add your dry ingredients to one of the mixing bowls. In this case, I pre-mixed my dry ingredients and had them all in one Ziploc bag. Add your wet ingredients to the other mixing bowl. Don't forget to add your maple syrup or other sugar. You can use honey, granulated sugar, or other sweeteners, or you can skip them altogether. Mix it all thoroughly, make sure that egg is beaten in well. And once your butter is melted, add your melted butter to the wet ingredients, leaving enough in the pan to coat it and grease it. Now is a good time to get your oven preheating to 375 degrees. Alternately, if you have a lid for your cast iron pan or your frying pan or your bakeware, or if you are using a Dutch oven and it can stand up to it, you can cook this over a bed of coals or on a barbecue or over a portable gas stove, etc. I like to save my eggshells and use them in the garden, but you can also use them as bait for raccoons or other critters, and in so doing recycle a food waste into a new food item. Add your wet ingredients to your dry ingredients, or vice versa if you're fussy about the order in which you add your baking ingredients. A spatula is particularly helpful to make sure that you have the least amount of waste in your mixing bowls. And then mix your wet and dry ingredients together until they are thoroughly mixed. At this point, you might also like to include some extras. So for example, if you have corn kernels or bacon bits or bits of garden herbs that you want to include in your cornbread, now is the time to add them. When your ingredients are thoroughly mixed, add them to your skillet. And again, a good spatula helps to ensure that you have a minimal amount of waste. And I just like to make sure that the mixture is relatively evenly laid out in the pan. Put it in your preheated oven and wait 25 to 30 minutes. You'll know your cornbread is ready when a fork or a toothpick or a twig inserted into the middle comes out clean. We'll let this cool for a few minutes and then we can slice it and enjoy it.